Welcome to Tuttle Talk on 1190 AM. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Andy Tuttle.
Good morning and welcome to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network on 1190 AM KFXR, where we teach you what the rich and the banks do, not what they tell you to do, and where we dispel the misconceptions of financial wellness and the local real estate market right here in DFW. I am your host, Andy Tuttle, in the great state of Texas. So happy to be with you, and thank you so much for joining us. You can reach out to us on our off-air number, so you don't have to worry about being surprised on air. It will just be a personal call with us at 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. You can also join us at DFW1190am.com. You can listen in there and also on your iHeartRadio app. That's a really good way to do it, too, on your phone. It's good for all kinds of shows and radio stations. It's a big deal. So get your iHeartRadio app and listen in there. Also, you can text, and this is what we're doing all month. You can text to 72727. So get out your phone, and you want to text 72727 and type in the comments field Andy T. ANDYT, as in Tuttle, and you will be entered to win a free month of electricity. We've been talking about it all month. There's only a couple weeks left there. Not any really time left. Let's get that done. You better get in there and get that done to get registered for your free month of electricity. And speaking of the giveaway, I have brought today the founder of the feast, Mr. Gabe Abshire, owner and CEO of Utility Concierge, which is the company that is sponsoring this and providing this great giveaway for us. So, Gabe, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Andy. Excited to be here today.
I know you are. I can tell. I know
Pumped up.
You're very excited. You've been a very busy man lately, haven't you?
It has been a very, very good summer for Utility Concierge. So we've been very blessed and very busy.
Okay, so Utility Concierge, we talk about it a lot. We use it for all of our clients. Tell me a little bit about Utility Concierge. What is it?
Basically, what we do is we take care of all your utility connections for your clients moving into a new home. So instead of an agent giving a piece of paper out, going, here, good luck, go online, figure those out, call those 9 different people, the agent now can go, hey, you know what, don't worry about it, I'll have a personal concierge call you, and they're going to take care of everything for you. And so once we get that information, we go to work, we find out what their needs are for the clients, present them with their options, and they make the selections and we make the connections for them, all with one phone call.
I like that. They make the selections, you make the connections. So, and you help clients with internet, homeowners, so internet, cable, phone service, internet, I think I already said that. I'm going to say it one more time, internet, security service, so everything.
Yeah, any home connection coming into the home. So like I said, gas, water, electricity, the basic things. And on electricity, we shop the rates for them, so we give them the absolute best rates out there in the market today. Okay. And those change on a daily basis. And we actually have some exclusive electricity rates that they can't find anywhere else from our vendors. And then we take care of their TV, internet, phone. And, we say home security, but we actually sell a product that's actually home automation. You can basically control your house from your iPhone. Okay. It's amazing.
That's pretty fantastic. Now, I've seen that stuff. That's great technology. What about on all the connections and setting them up? How much does that cost the homeowner?
It's actually a no-charge service to the homeowner, and there's no charge to the realtor. So it is a win-win situation.
That's what I'm talking about.
It is a win-win situation.
That is what I mean. That's a good way to do business. I really like that. So it is a free service. It is a no-cost service for the homeowner. So if your agent has not done that and you are looking to buy a home and they don't know about this program, you do. So you want to call us at 214-736-9696. We will get you hooked up with Gabe's company, Utility Concierge, and we will have a concierge call you and set up those connections for you. Also, and Gabe, isn't this right? If someone already owns a home, can you help them with those connections or help them on their current services?
Absolutely. We can kind of do a bill consolidation, look at it, and see if we can save you some money on your current electricity bills or TV, internet. Sometimes we just kind of get stuck in a rut and we keep paying that same bill. But there's a lot better deals out there, and that's what we do. We find the deals, bring them to you, and you go, all right, yeah, sure, I'd like to save $50 a month.
It's such a great plan. We refer all of our clients over to you, and so every purchase, they get this, and that's what's the biggest value add that we have because it's simple, and there's so much going on in that purchase, and it's so stressful. And what I like about what you do personally is that that's the biggest thing, is making sure that the lights are on when you move into the house, and everything's working. And you guys are able to call and follow up and make sure that happens for the clients.
Yeah, it's a very small piece of the whole real estate process, but at the end of the day, I guarantee if you took a poll, that'd probably be top 2 or 3. The most stressful thing is calling on those people. And the good thing about us is that, they have a personal concierge they deal with. We're never going to ask them to go online. They're going to have a personal person that they can text, email, Skype, whatever they want, however the best way to communicate with, that's what they're going to have. And, our concierges are really, really good when everything goes great. But when there's a problem with one of our vendors or a problem with electricity not being on, not because it's our fault, we're amazing, because we can get on the phone with our contacts and say, hey, get this taken care of. This is one of our customers. Make it happen.
That's a big point, because when you're just one person getting electricity and it goes wrong, you don't carry as much weight as when you are sending hundreds a week. And they're like, oh, well, we better get on this, right? And that's a powerful thing. It's basically, they are really a concierge and a liaison between you and all the other utility companies. So you want to use them. You email us at questions@andytuttle.com. We're going to get you connected with them. It's a great way to relieve stress and save some money, and it really doesn't cost you anything. You set this up right, Gabe. So thank you for being here.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. And thank you for putting on the giveaway. Remember, text 72727 and Andy T, or you can also go to utilityconcierge.com and find out more about Utility Concierge there. And we'll have Gabe back, I'm sure, and his fun, exciting attitude. I know a lot of realtors are catching on to this, too. A lot of real estate companies.
Yeah, we actually just got back from Austin for Keller Williams Mega Camp, and a lot of brokers are getting on board. Keller Williams is interested, and we have some other large RE/MAX offices on board. So we're actually kind of getting some feedback that, hey, if your realtor doesn't use this, they're kind of the clients are kind of getting agitated. So it's kind of tides are turning in our favor.
That's
so
great. Well,
we're excited.
Hope it continues to do that in this market and a lot of others that I know you are in. So it's great service. Happy to have you as a partner and on our team, if you will, kind of an extension of our team.
We love it. We love that y'all have jumped on board and y'all understand what we do, and it's just in y'all's process.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Thanks again, Gabe. Okay, I need to bring it down for a minute here on Tuttle Talk. I want to remember a good friend. My wife will appreciate this. I can't help but talk to you about it. It's not business related. It's not real estate or financial wellness related, but it is emotional wellness related. So we have a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic dog we've had for 10 years, Labrador retriever named Tyler. My wife has had him for 10 years. I've been with her for 5, and he's definitely been my dog. And he's had some problems. He had diabetes, and he had labs have fatty tumors, right? And they get lipomas. And then anyway, he got one in his brain about a year ago, and we went through a lot of radiation and some therapy for him and got him a little bit better. But he had a tough relapse this last week, and we had a very, very sad day on Sunday. Ended up having to put him to sleep and put him to rest. We know it was a great thing to do, but I got to tell you, I have had 2 close friends of mine pass in my life, one from cancer, one from a motorcycle accident, and that day was one of the toughest days of my life. It was just tragic all the way around, just with knowing how much pain my wife was in. I mean, dogs just become part of your family. And I actually wrote a little lamentation for that guy, and I want to read it to you. It was interesting, though, that day, Sunday, it was raining, but it was kind of cool because it was very peaceful on the way back from the vet. It was sad, but just sometimes when it rains, it like coats the sky with a different type of color. And so, I don't know what happened. God was good to us with the music and the air and the peace about it. It was a very tough time. So here's my lamentation. I lament you, Tyler. You were much more than a dog. You were a great comfort to my wife when I couldn't be. You were so happy to see me, even when I wasn't. You were always there to give me my daily hugs. You were family. I'll miss your lazy bones, your polite begging, even your soft coat, and even your room-clearing toots. Those were just awful. But we both love you and miss you so much. My heart is heavy, and my tears fall swiftly for you, my friend. Thank you. And thank God for giving us such a wonderful gift in you. With love, always, your owners, I guess, the Tuttles. So you're listening to Tuttle Talk on 1190 AM KFXR on the Real Estate Radio Network. And a little later in the show, we're going to have two local experts in the East Dallas and Garland area. They are also great people and patient people. I know this because they raised me, and we will talk to them later in the show. But coming up, right after this, we are going to talk to our very own wealth and financial experts and an estate planning attorney, Randy Nichols and Lee Hilton, and get more into the word on wealth. Two great financial minds, one microphone. So stay with us.
Are you a property investor? Do you know the difference between a homeowner's policy and a dwelling fire policy? Did you know there is a difference and that your insurance company could deny a claim if you have your investment property on the wrong coverage form? A good agent knows the difference and makes sure you do too. Let's face it, the financial well-being of your investment property is very important. Your education about proper insurance coverage does not have to be long and drawn out. Want some help? Call me. I'm John Allen with Texas Community Insurance, and you can reach me at 214-736-9696. Once again, that's John Allen, 214-736-9696.
Andy Tuttle here, host of Tuttle Talk. Yeah, I really am thrilled to get to speak to you every single week and bring the truth about our local real estate market. A lot of the stuff you hear in the news is based on national numbers, and it really doesn't mean much to us here in Dallas. So if you want the inside knowledge about what's going on in our real estate market, that is exactly what I'm here for. So give me a call, 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. Whether you're looking to buy a home or you're looking to sell, you want to refinance or even invest, I can help you make an educated decision about what's going on and what's going to be best for you and your family. It's easy. I will give you the real facts. My team is going to give you the facts, and you're going to decide from there, right? That's how that works. So give me a call. I'm here to help. 214-736-9696, or visit me at andytuttle.com.
Why do people prefer to do business with Fidelity National Title? Some people say for the high-level security we offer through our solid financial strength. Some say they trust our history of excellent service. But most say it's our passion for excellence that keeps our customers coming back. Put your trust in a company that stands the test of time and will be here tomorrow. To learn more about Fidelity National Title, visit fidelitydfw.com or call 877-862-9111.
This is Pete the Fast Greek Horonis, host of Race Talk, the motorsports talk show, heard every Saturday live at high noon right here on 1190 AM and streaming on the web at dfw1190am.com. NASCAR, NHRA, the IndyCar Series, we cover it all every Saturday at high noon. Also, we tell you where they're racing right here in the Metroplex. So join me, Pete the Fast Greek Horonis, for Race Talk, the motorsports talk show, heard every Saturday live at high noon right here on 1190 AM and streaming on the net at dfw1190am.com. And remember, keep your racing on the track, not on the street.
Welcome back, Dallas. You are listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. Thank you so much for joining us and staying with us. I'm very excited about the two guests coming up later in our show. They're going to tell you, does the buyer's agent really represent you legally? Do they, if you're a homeowner? Well, they'll talk to you about if that's true and how that all works at the last segment of our show. But now I want to get into our Word on Wealth segment today, and it's brought to you by John Allen of Texas Community Insurance. He's really centered around educating you and about your options and, of course, getting you great premium rates, but really making sure that the insurance is properly covering you. I trust him with my insurance. So do many of our clients, and so we thank him for his continued effort with us. We are here now in the Word on Wealth with our very own Randy Nichols, manager at Spectrum Financial Group. Randy, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Andy. Great to be here.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot. We talked about financial house. We talked about some challenges that women face. Right. And then I really want to get into, because of you actually prompting this, into business owners and some challenges that business owners face. I appreciate this as a business owner. I know many of our listeners do as well. So would you share with us some of your thoughts on what business owners face and what they need to be watching out for in this market?
Okay, Andy, let's start on a project you and I have agreed on called 10 Tips to Help Business Owners in a Challenging Time. Okay?
Let's do that.
All right, you want to do a 2, maybe 3-part?
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's plan on a 2-part. There's 10 tips. Let's try to get through 5 today, but let's see where we go, because this is important information.
Okay, great. Andy, as business owners, and you know many business owners, They know how to assess and address their clients' needs. However, it's very easy to neglect their own. Major league issue never fails. So what's the sign of a good decision? First off, number one, have a thoughtful, well-written business plan and stick to it. Rather than getting caught up in daily operations of the business, set clear and realistic goals and objectives and consider strategies that address the long-term plans of their business and how to retire. Many business owners don't have an exit strategy on retiring, so that's an issue. Number two.
Well, before you go to number two, because this is really big, on the business plan piece, if you want some good books out there, developing your own business plan, I'll tell you, Michael Gerber writes a great book called The E-Myth Mystery, and the E-Myth Revisited. It's entrepreneurial myth, basically. And another great one is Chet Holmes' The Ultimate Sales Machine. But those are great books just if you have an organization, whether it's a one-man show or it's 500. These are great books to help you understand why you have a business plan and why it's so important to work on your business and set up the structure that rather than just always in the business. And I know a very important part of that, which we'll get into later, is key man policies, things like that, really set up and protect yourself.
Right. And then item number two happens to be my favorite, and that is seek out and set up a network of business advisors. What you do by pulling together what I call an informal board of directors made up of business owners in similar-sized companies dealing with similar short and long-term issues, owners can realize opportunities within their business that they may not have been able to have done on their own or see themselves. And they can work together to solve each other's most pressing problems. I love the informal board of director idea. That's number two.
That's great.
Number three, find a financial professional with experience in serving small businesses. Now, I'm not talking about someone who's a specialist in large businesses. I'm talking about a specialist in small businesses like myself. Choose an experienced local financial professional trained to meet your needs as a business owners, who you trust with your business and your personal aspirations so he can help you plan to reach your short and long-term goals.
So you have, that's very interesting because a lot of people go and hire business consultants, let's say.
Right.
But they may miss some of the key financial parts of the business that really a financial advisor understands. And I know you've done that for me, but you suggest that for business owners and small business owners as well.
Absolutely. And again, small business owners have special and unique issues that they need to have addressed, which differ from other types of business owners in larger to, let's call it mid-sized to large businesses. Those are separate issues.
Right, because they have just the larger organizations, when they have more staff and more ability, they do have just different challenges in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
It's a different structure you have organizationally, and you have different ways you need to set up your entities and different ways you need to run your business, and I see that.
One of the odd things, Andy, is this. There's actually an emotional issue that goes with being a smaller business owner, and the emotional issue of a smaller business owner is significantly different than, again, the medium to large size business.
Yep. Okay, keep going. It's good.
All right, so number four, know your core customers. And, this is really key because you've got to understand your customer. I know that sounds simple, but you really need to know your customer and then segment them and know where your profit comes from in your business. Make an extra effort to know how you can keep your base and how you can grow your business. Again, I know it sounds simple, but knowing your customer is a major league issue, especially for small business owners. You'd be surprised how many of them really don't get that issue.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do some coaching and with our clients and partners, and if you are interested in really learning how to work with your ideal clients, I will tell you another great book is Book Yourself Solid by Michael Port. Book Yourself Solid by Michael Port to understanding your ideal clients and going after that. Randy, I'm so happy that you understand those kind of little things because that really says to me that you do get small business owners and the challenges. So go ahead. I think we got one more we can fit in
Number
today.
5, let's fit it in today. Define and communicate your unique value to the market. Now, what are you doing that nobody else does? How's your service different? How's it better? Again, learn to differentiate yourself. What should your customers see in you instead of your competition? All those types of questions are really, really critical because what you need to do also is take a look at your competition because in the downturn that's happened since 2008, what's interesting is that a number of businesses have changed their approach, or some of them have actually exited the industry or the service center or whatever that you're in. So you need to develop your unique message and articulate it to the public. Again, sometimes it's important, Andy, to reassess your market segment that you're in and look and see what your competitors are doing. And here's a great piece of advice. Whatever they're doing, stop doing it. Don't do it. Do something different. Look at it with the mirror in place. And in other words, what's the opposite thing that your client could benefit from that makes you different, unique, and better?
It's great stuff, Randy. If you want to get a hold of Randy about your small business and some of the issues you face, set up not only your key man policy and other financial structures, but also talk to him about your own unique proposition, value proposition in the marketplace, and how you can grow your business and leverage a good financial advisor as part of your team. Call us at 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. We'll get you in touch with him. You are listening to Tuttle Talk. Thank you so much for being here, Randy.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay, Lee Hilton now, our estate planning attorney and elder law expert, is here with us, and we're going to continue our conversation on the top 10 mistakes most people make. Okay, so now we are on to the 157th mistake that people... I mean, it's every week. It's great. It's just a lot. But no, I think we actually are on the 8th mistake. Last week we talked about people not preparing for deferring the taxes on their inheritance. Is that right? What's that called? We talked
not
about last
deferring
week?
their retirement plan taxes.
Not deferring their retirement plan taxes. That was a really good discussion. Now this week we're going to talk about the 8th mistake. What is that mistake?
The 8th mistake is failing to organize and consolidate. And this mistake has to do with helping people find your stuff and then also being able to consolidate so that they don't have to go a lot of different places. One of the biggest factors causing delays in an estate plan is actually locating the assets. One of the bigger ones is a lot of life insurance policies, 5% of them go unclaimed after they've matured, meaning someone's died. And the reason why they go unclaimed is because your beneficiaries don't receive another premium notice on paid-up life insurance policies, meaning you've paid premiums for long enough that you no longer have to pay premiums anymore.
I thought it was even more than 5% of life insurance policies that went unclaimed. I want to check on that because I think I heard a stat the other day that was even bigger than that. But gotcha. So they're not getting claimed. They're not finding the assets. It's not just about what's in your checking and your savings account or even your money market. There's a lot of other assets out there, and it's hard to kind of go find the paper trail to get all those. Is that right?
Right. That's correct. And a lot of clients hide money. And if you hide money somewhere in your house, if you don't write that down, then whoever buys your house is going to end up with that money, or Goodwill is going to end up with it.
Right.
The funniest story I heard related to this was about a bank trustee that was getting ready to sell a house, and there was a dog in the backyard. And the dog dug up a coffee can, and they opened up the coffee can, and there was $1,000 in cash in the coffee can.
Wow.
With a metal detector, they actually tore up the backyard. They found $100,000 in coffee cans in the backyard.
The dog is quite talented to bury all those.
Kind of like squirrels that get nuts.
He was squirreling it away. Very smart. Let me put this money away. These owners of mine, they're going to find out. I got to keep myself ready for retirement. Right. So apparently, I guess the one who had died, the spouse who had died, had been burying those over years, $1,000 in coffee cans. So that means the new owner of that house gets all that money if they bought that house?
Right. If they bought that house and they found that in the backyard. But a lot of times when I talk to seniors, they will put money in pockets of old jackets. They'll put them in pages of books. The other story that I heard that was kind of interesting was somebody was cleaning out the freezer for her mom after her mom had passed away, and she was cleaning out the meat in the foil, and she said it just didn't feel right, and she opened it up, and the mom had actually put cash in the freezer to protect it in foil.
That is fantastic. I want to try that. I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to surprise my wife. She's like, what's this? Blueberry surprise? I was like, yeah, man, it would be a very nice surprise.
Yeah, it would be a nice surprise.
Hey, look at this cash. That is great. So wait a second. So those are major problems, but how do you get around that? What do you need to do to make sure? I mean, it sounds like you need to tell someone, but obviously they don't want to tell their family about it because they want to keep it a secret. So how do you fight against that? What's the solution?
A lot of times my clients will put a list of assets in their safe deposit box, and they'll include in that where they hide their money.
That's smart.
And so that way, if it's somewhere that somebody else can't access directly, because I always joke about it in seminars, you don't want to put a note on the fridge, hey thief, look in the freezer.
Right.
That's where the cash is. So you've got to have some way to secretly tell people where those things are. The other thing that's real important is if you've got a lot of online passwords. So if you use like an E-Trade investment account, you need to have it where your family has access to that information once you're gone. So it's important to have a list of those passwords also.
So when someone gets with you, you can help them walk through this. Hey, let's write them down. Nobody's looking at this, right? It's private. And then you're just like, hey, that's good advice too. We have a safe deposit box. Get a safe deposit box. Put it in there, and then then you just have one key that people need to remember. You don't have 500 things. It's
Right.
like, boom, here's the one key, go get it, and then you got your list. That's a pretty good solution there. Anything else on that I missed?
I think that's about it.
That's pretty awesome because I love this. See, that's what I like because it's a couple of simple things. So, and then you go do those and then you're set up instead of having to have someone else dig up, which I would love. I'm going to go get a metal detector now and go in my backyard. We had an older guy that lived there. You never know. So I want to find a coffee can or 100 of them. But if you don't have any coffee cans in your backyard and you do want to pass down money to your kids that maybe you're squirreling away to your family when you pass, or maybe you know that your parents have done this and there's no way they're telling you about it, but you don't want to have to go searching for 6 months to 12 months to try to find all this when they're gone, because that's a reality of life. My parents had to do that for our grandmother a few years ago, and that it takes time. If you don't know what's going on there, it's a lot of work, and you're trying to mourn and be with your family and do those things, and there's a better way. Maybe get ahead of the house. So tell them to call us here at 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696, and we will personally introduce you to Lee and get you guys in a conversation, or you can talk about how to protect your family, how to protect your assets, and do that at a very, very high level, and it takes so much stress off of your plate. And that's why you work with Lee, because she does two things better than anyone. And Lee, what are those?
I help you protect the two most important things in your life, everyone you love and everything you own.
And you do a great job of that. Thank you so much for being with us, Lee.
Thank you.
This is Tuttle Talk. I hope you were taking some notes in that last segment. That was really a lot of great information there for you. So, coming up, we are going to talk to those two wonderful realtors and outstanding people, my parents. Don't get me wrong. They're a little nutty, and I hope we get into a little of that, you crazy nuts. But this is going to be a great show if we can survive it. So stick around. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us. Hello, this is Bernadette with Adrift Float Spa.
Hi, this is Colin from Floataway. Now, the simple state of floating in warm, salty water is the most relaxing experience on Earth.
To schedule your escape, call us at 214-36-FLOAT or visit us online at adriftfloatspa.com. You're listening to Tuttle Talk here on 1190 AM, and we're talking to Andy Tuttle. Andy, tell me what Real Estate Radio Network's Tuttle Talk is all about.
Well, I tell you, the reason I do this show is because as a mortgage lender, I just see people making mistakes every single day, and people come in with preconceived notions about how to do things, and it's usually outdated. A lot of it's from the Depression-era mentality, and I see it, and I get the calls when they want to restructure their financing later, and they can't because they didn't do it right in the beginning, and a medical situation comes up, there's a loss in the family, a loss of job, and now they want to do something and they cannot. But if they would have done it right in the beginning, it would have changed everything. And that's what I want to do. I want to bring the truth out so that you can hear it and have time to sit on it and be educated by it and learn about it so you can make smarter decisions for you and your family going forward.
What are some of the things you're helping the people of DFW accomplish with their real estate?
Let me give you a recent example of someone that we really were able to help out that did listen to us. This was a restructuring of a finance. It was not on a purchase deal. She was an older lady. She had her husband pass, but she was in good shape, though. She had enough from annuities and some other investments they had made earlier in their life. And she was still way over debt, though, leveraged with all the credit cards and everything else. We were able to restructure her financing to a 15-year loan, which was great for her, and pay off all of her other debt, make it tax-deductible debt, and lower her monthly budget by over $1,400. Totally changed her life. It got the burden off her and her kids who were afraid they were going to have to take over that. So it was a huge life-changing event, and that's what we get excited about.
Who's out there listening right now, Andy, that should call you today?
Who can I help? Well, anyone who wants to buy, sell, or refinance, or even has questions about real estate or anything financial wellness. That's what I'm here for. That's what I've been studying for the past decade, is figuring out ways to help you and educate you. So if you have any of those needs, or you're just curious about anything real estate, please reach out to me and give us a call.
Well, folks, it's just that simple. If you want the free real estate advice in DFW, call Andy Tuttle right now at 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696.
Join me, Michael Savage, 6 to 9 p.m. weeknights on 1190 a.m. KFXR, the talk station for the Savage Nation.
And we're back in Dallas. I have to do that every week. That was harder for me this week to do, I got to say. You are listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. You can reach us at 214-736-9696. You can also become a fan of the show at facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. And you can catch all shows at andytuttle.com. Don't forget to go into iHeartRadio.com or on your iHeartRadio app. It's a great way to listen to the show, especially if you're not by your radio in your car or whatever. So it's a great opportunity. And Gabe Abshire with Utility Concierge was here earlier. And if you missed that, you still want to text 72727. So get out your phone and text 72727 and type in Andy T, ANDYT, no spaces, and you'll get entered to win a free month of electricity. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Big giveaway going on, and thank you, Utility Concierge, for doing that for us. I am now joined by two very experienced, talented, and caring agents. Again, they are also very patient. I know this because I grew up in their home for probably too long. Lonnie and Becky Tuttle with Ebby Halliday are here. Thank you both so much for being here.
No problem.
We're glad to be here.
Yeah, I bet you are. Okay, so, Mom, you, a.k.a. Mom and Dad, I guess. I'll probably be doing that the whole show. I have no idea. But Becky, a.k.a. Mom, I know you have been in real estate now for how long?
Over 20 years.
Wow. You know, agents a lot of times say they've been in the business for 20 or 30 years, but they really have 1 year of experience. They repeat 20 times over. Mm-hmm. So it's really 1 year of experience. But one thing I know about you is that you always go through a lot of extra training and always learning how to be better at your business. So you truly do have 20 years of experience in the business. So how have you seen real estate change in that time?
Oh, my stars. Okay, it's when I was first in the business, a contract was 2 legal-size pages long. Now it's 9.
Is that right? Was it 2 pages?
And seller's disclosures were not required, and now they are.
How long has that been around? Because I signed a seller's disclosure most of the time.
Probably
10 years,
they
maybe?
were around then, but they weren't mandatory.
Gotcha.
So that happened probably 10 years ago, 15.
Man, so there's just a couple of the small changes. Also, technology has really come on strong, hasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, when I first got in, they were just getting rid of the books.
What books? You mean like training books?
No, I'm talking about MLS.
Oh,
you didn't get it online. You didn't get it on the computer. It was in a book.
How does that even work? So just think about this. Imagine this. You know now how you go to Realtor.com and you can get MLS listings everywhere. It's all at the tip of your fingers. Back in the day, you used to have to, I would guess, see a realtor in your office and go look through a book of all the listings in the area.
Pretty much. I'm fortunate. I got in right at the end of that.
Man, no kidding. That would be, no one would buy a house. They would be like, I can't, this is too much work. I'm not going over here to go look in a book. So I'll just drive the neighborhood. So before you got into real estate, you weren't always in real estate, but you've been in that a long time, but you've always been entrepreneurial, and which is probably where I got the bug from, you guys, a little bit. But before that, you sold some other products and you did some other things, right?
Yeah, I was an image consultant for a cosmetic company. I drove a school bus.
Oh, yes, that's right. I remember. I rode that school bus.
I know. I also had a secretarial service of my own, and for about 5 years. So
that's right. I remember that too.
My dad put me to work when I was 13 years old, so I learned very early about being professional, working in an office, that kind of thing. So a lot of times I create my own forms.
There are child labor laws that protect against that now, you know.
I know.
He wouldn't have cared.
Back then they didn't.
Grandpa wouldn't have cared.
He might not have. He just wouldn't have paid me, so it wouldn't have been a job.
Yeah. So why are you in real estate?
I was looking for something. My husband's job was one of those jobs that you never knew what days he was going to be off. So I always tried to find something that would allow me a little freedom. The thing about real estate is that it is, you're actually an independent contractor. Of according to the laws of Texas, we have to work under a broker. My sponsoring broker is Evie Halliday. But technically, I'm an independent contractor. I'm self-employed, and I do that best.
Right.
But
so if you need a nap in the middle of the day, you can go take one. Or if you need to...
And you don't have to get permission.
That's right.
But it is a hard job. It can be 24/7 if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And it does require a lot of investment, just like any business does. And so it's just, if you don't change in this business, then you become obsolete. You have to learn every day, every year. Even if you learned it last year, you've got to keep learning what's changed to grow with it. Or you can, like I said, you can become obsolete.
Yep, that's true. And a lot happens in a lot of businesses. If you're not a learner, you're going to be in a big trouble. You're going to be out of business. That's just the way that works. So, Pops, speaking of your job before, I know you, of course, you did a lot of things, but you were a grocery man when I was growing up. You were a store director over at Tom Thumb. I remember that. For how long were you doing that?
I was in the grocery business almost 30 years. That's right, 3 decades.
Yeah, that's about as long as I've been alive. I remember when I was a kid, I would go up to the produce where your guys they'd be stacking the produce, and I found out the tricks. The fresh produce, it goes, they flip it. They put the old produce up front because they got to get rid of that. So the fresh produce gets in the back. So I learned those tricks, but they'd always be standing there. Every time I'd go in, I'd love going to work with you. And they would, I guess I was like 8 years old or something. They'd be like, hey, come here. Tell your dad something for us. Yeah. Tell him we need a raise. So, and then you went from that, and I know you did some missionary work. I went with you, actually, to Africa.
Yes.
Do you still talk to any of those guys over in Africa?
I get communications from them all the time.
Yeah, that was one of the best experiences of my life, going over there and watching the bridge that you had built over there and helped build over there, and the medical facility, and just walking with those people and talking about the gospel. It was a great time, and I'll never forget those times. And I know you came back from that, and then you guys, I don't know, were you in business before together? Because you'd been in business together, partners. Mm-hmm. Then you did the missionary work for several years.
Yeah,
and then came back.
We were together in real estate business in the late 90s till 2000, and then I started a little ministry then and began to go quite regularly overseas.
That's right. And then you came back, and now we teamed up for a little bit there, over in the mortgage business. So you know both sides of the business.
Yes.
And so I know that's. Would you say that being on the mortgage side of things has helped you understand the real estate side better?
It definitely has helped me understand the entire transaction. And so in my brain, I can put the whole thing together and actually know what's going on. Sometimes it's not real good because I see lenders saying we need to still get this or this, and I'm going, uh-oh. So it might be better if I did know that, but easier on my nerves. But no, it's nice to know what's going on.
But it's better for the clients that you know some of that stuff.
It is. We give them a lot better direction.
That's great to know. So, Mom, I know you have worked in a lot of different areas in real estate over the past 20 years, but what are you passionate about now?
I'm passionate now about working with mature adults. They are in transition, and they need someone to help. They've got the whole family involved. You deal with a family when you're dealing with a senior citizen, and I just love working with them. They're precious, and sat down with one day and is talking with them, and we're going to list their house because they're going to be moving to an independent living community, and they'd been married for 64 years.
Wow.
I know. And you don't find that kind of thing out. That's just a wonderful thing to know about somebody. And I love listening to people and finding out who they are and why they're there and where they've lived. And these people have lived all over the nation. They're an amazing couple.
So when you say they're in transition, so you're talking about maturing adults, they're in a senior living facility now, or no? What's the situation? No. They're in a life transition of some kind, and a big one.
Yeah, they live in a house. A lot of times it becomes too much for them to take care of. They want to simplify their lives, and they do it one of two ways, one of a number of ways. They either sell the house and move down to a smaller house, or a lot of times they'll want to go to a senior living facility.
A nursing home?
I don't think we call them that anymore.
Oh, okay. No, they're not nursing homes?
This is a senior independent living community.
Oh, like the stuff I see in the commercials, like there's like slides and big pools, and is it that deal?
Yeah, the one they're going to has a swimming pool, has a gym. It has, there's people there that are over 90 years old that still go for walks. This isn't.
It's got a great restaurant, too.
It has a great
You've
restaurant.
eaten there?
Oh,
Yeah. Your grandmother would have us over on Sundays.
Is this, wait, that place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why you think you are passionate about the mature living,
Yes.
The mature adults?
Because I've been on both sides. I've been on the side of the family. Mother lived with us for 13 years.
13 years, okay.
She moved into an independent living community, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. I've also been through the part where we did have to have my dad he was in a dementia, Alzheimer's because he had had a stroke that affected his mind. And so I've been through a lot of sides of the transition that families go through, not just older people. Families go through.
Because the kids I remember you were very heavily involved, not in Grandpa's situation, but also in Grandma's situation. I remember doing all of her books and all the time it took just to get all of her financial house in order and going through not only the transition to that senior living facility, but also as things regressed with her health.
Right.
And as those tough challenges came up, how much and how heavily you were involved and how stressful it is on the family.
Mm-hmm.
And so you seem then to be able to be more empathetic with these families and know not only maybe the seniors that are having that transition, but also how important it is to involve the kids in that.
Exactly.
Do you find that the kids are, and maybe even the grandkids, I know with us, we were involved a little bit, we understood what was going on, old enough to understand what was going on, and we were adults ourselves, and so do you find that you really do need to get the children involved early in that situation?
Most of the time when I have a listing appointment, if family is around, is living in the area, they come to the appointment. And so I get a chance to know them there. I can find out some things because you have to ask different questions with seniors. And because there's all kinds of things the title company needs and things like that I try to get. And I need permission from the owners of the property who are my clients before I share any information with even their kids. Gotcha. And so I try to get something signed. For them also need to know if one of them has power of attorney for them, and just in case it's needed later on. There's a lot of things that come into play, and it's just I love the challenge. It's wonderful, and we've met so many wonderful people.
Didn't you meet someone? You kind of become friends with these guys, don't you?
Yeah.
One guy invited you over for a beer. How did that go, LT?
Oh,
you told me that story.
Went over there, and he had asked me if I'd like a beer. It was a mature age couple. They had no internet. They had no fax, so it was one of those deals where you have to take the documents over there in person every time there's a change to get something done. But they're beautiful, wonderful people. And when we'd come in, he'd always ask me if I want a beer. And then I'd say, oh, no, man, you don't need to do that. And he goes, well, if you don't have one, I can't have one. So we started every time we came over, we had to break out the beer. So it's fun. Sweet people.
That's great. That's a good connection. That's just a lot of human relations, and that's very important, and I know you're passionate about that. I know how you are about family. You're listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. If you are in transition, or perhaps a family member is, call us at 214-736-9696, or if you think they may be in that transition of life here in the next few months or within the next year, it's never too early to start and have that initial conversation. Call us at 214-736-9696, and we will get you connected with the Tuttle team, LT and Becky. Up next, we're going to talk about first-time homebuyers and what one major thing they have in common with the maturing adults group. We'll tell you what they can possibly have in common and what they can share. We'll tell you what that is, and LT and Becky are especially equipped to help you if you are a first-time homebuyer. And we'll tell you why right after this, so stick around.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Are you a grandparent? Do you want to make sure the assets you leave to your children make it down to your precious grandchildren, and your children don't lose them to divorce, creditors, or lawsuits? I can help you make sure your assets make it down to those precious grandchildren. You can reach me at 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. I'm Lee Hilton, and I help you protect the two most important things in your life, everyone you love and everything you own.
Real Estate Radio's Tuttle Talk in Dallas is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Andy Tuttle. The purpose of the show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in DFW, Andy Tuttle can help. Call Andy directly at 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696. Take advantage of speaking with Andy anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Andy today and you'll be glad you did. 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696. Or you can visit andytuttle.com for more info.
Do you have an insurance strategy? When is the last time you had a policy checkup? Do these sound like odd questions to you? Well, they might if you are used to hearing insurance agents talk only about all the money they can save you on your insurance. Saving money is important, but with insurance, saving money on premium may cost you big dollars on claims. Why? Because not all policies are created equally. So, if you come across someone who does not have a clear insurance strategy, or you yourself don't, they probably need an insurance review or a policy checkup. And John Allen with Texas Community Insurance can help. He is trusted in the industry, and he has helped me and many of my clients over the years save tons of money and get properly insured. Call 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696, and we will personally introduce you to John Allen to get that review, get that checkup, and take care of your needs. You can also reach out on Facebook.com/Tuttle Talk.
In the Metroplex, there's only one station you can turn to for the Savage Nation. Join me, Michael Savage, weeknights at 6 to 9 p.m. on 1190 a.m. KFXR.
Welcome back, Dallas. You are listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. You can reach us at 214-736-9696 or become a fan of the show at Facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. I have been talking with LT and Becky over at Ebby Holiday Realtors. They're also my parents. We were talking about mature adults in transition to senior living facilities and your passion with taking care of them. And I want to transition really to talking about home buyers and first-time home buyers. And really they have something extremely in common that most people don't think about. And LT, why don't you tell us what that is?
Well, as far as the senior people and the first-time home buyers, they both can be taken advantage of because they don't have the education that they need. They don't have the information. A lot of stuff's on the internet, but it's not always correct.
It's a glut of information.
And so people think they know stuff, and they don't. And real estate's changing all the time. Like your mom said, the contracts are constantly changing, so they can be taken advantage of if they don't have somebody really knows what they're doing, educated, and going to fulfill their fiduciary duties to them.
Well, that's an interesting point that you bring up, because I know there is the code of ethics, and I know you really care about that, which is odd. I've never heard a realtor really dig in and love the code of ethics. But what is your fiduciary responsibility?
Our fiduciary responsibilities include disclosure, keeping things confidential. If you think of it like a lawyer-client relationship, doctor-patient relationship, there's things that we're supposed to definitely tell our clients and make sure they understand things, disclose. We're supposed to obey. We're supposed to be accountable. All those things we have to be. And also integrity is a must. We adhere to a strict code. There's a lot to it, but we can't go into all that. But we put our clients' interests before our own. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we agree to do. We protect and promote our clients' interests while treating all parties honestly. And we're supposed to offer our advice and opinions. Yes, we're supposed to give our opinions and advice based upon our education and knowledge and experience, because we really genuinely care about our clients. And our bottom line is really very simple: to help them buy or sell a home and be satisfied with the outcome. And all our advice, opinions, and information provided, direction and suggestions are to achieve that goal.
Okay, well, that was a mouthful right there. I will say, the clients, you did mention that key word. Is there a difference between a client and a customer, Mom?
Yes. A customer is someone that we show properties to. We cannot give them advice unless it's public knowledge. We can't tell them anything about the property unless it's public knowledge. Where a client basically owns us. They own our knowledge, our experience, and everything we know in our time.
And that is a very big point. That is a very big point that you make there, and that's one thing that most people don't know, and that is a customer, actually, in the state of Texas, I don't know if it's nationally or not, you actually, if they don't have a buyer's representation agreement signed, you are by law required to represent the seller.
That's correct.
You're a sub-agent for that seller.
That's exactly right. We're actually to represent that seller just like the very listing agent is supposed to, and most buyers don't understand that. That's why we want a legal written authorization from them to be able to share everything we should and put them in the best place as far as making offers, have the right information.
So you just know right there, it's not just talk. It is real legal binding. They are supposed to represent the seller unless they have that agreement signed. That is the law. So you need to understand that. That's why they're asking you to do that. And here's some tips. If you're a buyer and you want to find and get with and know that you won't be taken advantage of, you need a good agent that's going to listen to you, that understands the importance of the buyer representation. They need to be full-timed and experienced, and they need to communicate to you. And then I know, like you guys always say, you got to go with, at the end of the day, what your gut tells you, right?
That's right.
At the end of the day, you got to do that. So if you are looking for an agent you can trust, please call us at 214-736-9696, and we will get you in touch with LT and Becky and make sure that you are taken care of on your next home purchase. Don't forget to get your boots on at thebootcampaign.com. Support our troops. We all wear our boots first Friday of every month. We'd love for you to as well, and send us your pictures and support the troops. You are listening to Tuttle Talk. I hope you enjoyed this hour. Don't forget to text 72727 and type in Andy T to get entered to win a free month of electricity. If you'd like to discuss anything on our show, please email me at questions@andytuttle.com. Next week, I'm going to have a couple more great agents for you in a couple of different markets to tell you the timely truths of the real estate market. I'd like to thank LT and Becky. Thanks for being here. I'd also like to thank Lee Hilton and Randy Nichols, as always, for sharing with us their wisdom. I'd like to thank Danny Miles, our production director, and the entire family here at KFXR. Save the station and go to your iHeartRadio app. We will be here again next week. And Tyler, my lovely dog, my best friend, man's best friend. It was a great, great, great dog. You will be missed. Life is beautiful. You were beautiful. My wife and I will miss you dearly. And thank you so much for being a great gift in our lives. We'll see you next week.
Shining bright